Welcome to tonight's online workshop. We're just going to get logged in here and see if we can find your comments. It's always kind of funny when we get going to see, but let's just make sure that you guys can find us and that we can find you. When you're here, I'll give you guys a minute to get logged on. When you get here, just give me a shout out. Let's see. I can't even find me, so that's a bad sign. That would be okay. A minute later, and I had to do the hokey pokey and turn ourselves around, but it looks like that we are live now. So when you come in, hey Debbie, okay, I can see that somebody's here. How you doing? We are home from a working vacation. I had a week or a little over a week with my team. You can see I have the evidence to prove that I ate fried foods. But we went to South Carolina. We made a few stops along the way. It was good because otherwise it would have been a 17-hour car ride to my team down in South Carolina. But mission accomplished. Mission accomplished because somebody's buzzing me, so I'm gonna help my daughter get in so that she can help you guys find us. Technology has not been my friend today, as you can imagine. Usually when you click there, it brings you into the video, but we'll go this way. Click there, it brings you into. There we go. And then we can copy and paste that and send it over to somebody that's having trouble getting in. Okay, so that's the worst thing, technology. So I got home yesterday. We had I had the laptop going and I was watching videos and my laptop died in the car, no big deal. And then I plugged it in and then I plugged it in again and then I plugged it in again and it won't turn on. So very stressful when you know, your whole life is inside this little box and you can't turn it on. But we have an appointment with the geniuses at Apple. So hopefully they will be able to sort us away this weekend. So in the meantime, I guess I'll go back to being creative. I'd rather do that anyway than deal with this technology business. So that brings me to tonight's workshop. I designed this really wonderful card class around these new things. They're called the soft pastels. Mine came in the mail and it was in a box and it got a little crumbled, but I'm telling you, they work perfect. So I really don't need another one, and I just kept this one. But it does happen. They call them soft pastels, but if you have our old chalk pastels, they're actually a little harder in density than the old pastels, which is good to know. All right, so let's see. What do you need to know about tonight's workshop? Well, number one, if you love the cards and you'd like me to mail you a packet, you can place a $35 order in my store using the host code above, and it's in the description up above. So if you click, you might need to click see more, but if you click, there's even a link and the host code is built in. So you can just sign into your Stampin' Up account, and if you place a $35 order, I'll send you the pre-cut card kit for the 4 cards. Okay. Now, if you bump it up and you spend $50, you can also pick a freebie out of this book, and there's a bunch of freebies marked with it, and I know that's backwards, but it's marked with a 50. And then if you spend $60, I'm actually going to send you a pack of the chalk pastels. And if you get to 100, you might be able to score yourself some of the framelits that come with this. They're pretty darn awesome, and I will show you as we go on tonight. So lots of fun. Let's turn it around. We'll get started. We will start stamping. If you have questions, go ahead and pop them into the comments, because my daughter Alexis is manning the comments section. And oh, Christine, I'm glad you made it. Hey, Bonnie, how you doing? Let's see. Hi to Susan from Miami and Debbie from Tallahassee. So we got Florida. We got the Florida people covered, and maybe we can log on. Bonnie's from New York. Oh, I have a terrible memory. I know it's 6 hours to Maine. Not that I was paying attention to that, right? I'm gonna flip the camera and we'll get started. Bonnie is coming up to the retreat that I have coming in Maine. Pardon me, I'm gonna block the camera for 1 second just to make sure that we're all happy and double check that we get the right view. So, I don't want to be off-roading too much, but I like to have it nice and easy to reach so that once we get rolling, hopefully the river will stop rocking. All right. Oh, that's silly. Move back. Alexis is like, nope, that's not the look for you. Thank you, co-pilot. I got my co-pilot here. Can tell I was all dressed up from the waist up, and that I have my shorts on. Well, it is summer. Usually I would have like my warm fuzzy pants on down the bottom. So first of all, I want to show you the stamp set. Stamp set is really pretty. This is it, and you might see that mine got a little shifted because I take my stickers and I put them back there so that if someone gets my stamp set as part of one of my BOGO items later on, they can put the stickers on their stamps if they want to. I don't. But it's an awfully pretty stamp set, and it has just about everything that you'd need in the summer. It's got birthday and friendship and love you and thank you and hello. So above and beyond, you go there a lot. I love that. But when you're looking for a stamp set in the catalog, you may not know this. You go to the back of the book and you look up the name of the stamp set, and it gives you the page number. It tells you that it's $23. So we'll flip over to page 75. And it actually shows the images at 100%. So if you have one of these in your hand, you know that this flower will end up being the same exact size when you stamp it on your project. It's 100% to size. The same with the words. You know, if you have a particular punch, you can put the punch over the top and see if it fits. Or if you had a circle, you could, punch a hole out and say, oh yeah, that would fit, that would fit, that would fit, so on. Okay, so this is the stamp set. Absolutely beautiful. And it goes with one of the celebration things that we have going right now, which I had it open to that page because this is free with a $100 order. And you get lots of beautiful images. Now, there are only 2 that marry up to the stamps specifically. This one, which obviously this is much smaller. It's probably shown at like 60% is my guess. And then this one, which fits that one. And we are going to use the big one tonight, so you can see how to use it when you get it in your kit. But I've also used this one in your card kit. It's a really beautiful set of dies. It almost reminds me of one that we had in the past, but it's free with any $100 order. And there are 3 items in this book altogether that are while supplies last, and 2 of them happen to be framelits. So this one could be gone tomorrow. It just depends on how popular it is. The other one is the framelits that go with the sheep dies. That's one of them. So the sheep is free with a 50, and the dies are free with a 50. And these are while supplies last. And there's one other item. Oh yeah, here I have those right on the table. Those sheep dies are awfully cute. I posted a card earlier this week, and someone was asking me how I made the sun, and I just used this little guy because it comes with all sorts of things that the stamp set doesn't come with, balloon and clouds and a little flag and a birthday hat, because every sheep needs a birthday hat when it's his birthday. Okay, so then the last thing is this bedazzling paper, and we know from the 900 times I've used it that the book doesn't do it justice. It is stunning in person. But this is also while supplies last. So 3 items. The 2 sets of framelits and this are while supplies last. The rest go through the end of September. All right, so that's celebration. Let's move on to the fun part. Let's get crafting. Oh, I'm so excited they called you. We are having our retreat. I think that I have something like 8 or 9 spots left for retreat. So if you were thinking you'd like to be a leaf peeper in Maine the first weekend in October, we are going to be there crafting all weekend with you. So these are the 4 projects we're going to make tonight. And I'm just going to jump over. Oh, Alexis is already beside me yawning. That's not going to make me tired or anything. Cut it out. Cut it out. Okay. All right. So when you get your package, this is what it looks like. So it's kind of cool. This is what you can expect to get in the mail. And we make them all the same. So yay for that. Here's the first project. And I just love this layout. It's a really simple one. Here, let me grab the card. You only need to refresh if the video freezes.
It did.
Oh, did it? Darn technology. We switched laptops. We switched, Okay. So there's a couple ways you can do this. You can put the green through the middle, or you can put it in the back. This one, I did it in the back, but you can definitely change up your order. So let's get started, and we'll just do some stamping. Wicked fun. I need a black paper for this mat. Grab that one. It's hard to see when you're not stamping, and I like to have a black mat or a white mat. And for a video, it's much easier to see when we have the alternate color. So I'm just using the Memento ink. And ta-da, we're gonna come in and notice that I'm going upside down. This ink pad could use a little more ink. And because I'm going upside down, I can see that it needs ink. But what's really cool about that is it makes it really super easy for me to figure out that it needs that. Anytime that the ink pad is bigger than the stamp, I'll go upside down like that. Pretty. Okay, and then we'll just swap out ink pads there. I'll put this guy to the side, and we'll stamp the sentiment while we're at it. And I know that this one happens to be a happy birthday card, but if you have this at home, did I just do that? Tisk tisk. This one happens to be a happy birthday card. That's lousy. That's my kind of day today. You know, when something doesn't work, nothing seems to work. It's okay. Sigh. That's okay though. Maybe we'll see if we can fix that. I have a sand eraser, although I did a really good job with it. Nobody wrecks the card like you, Celine, especially live. By the way, if you want one of these, we can work it out when I'm sending you your packet. Ask me about them. So I put my big finger in the black, and of course these aren't in plastic like normal because I'm going to do a video and I want you to be able to see them well. But that was pretty impressive, wasn't it? Took the color right off. I'm not seeing them that good, so hopefully I'm doing okay there. Not out of the frame. We have a different configuration tonight because of the exciting things that happened today. No laptop and such. So I'm going to take this and I'm going to stick it down at the top of my project so that 3 sides are equal. And then I'm gonna put the granny apple over the top. So you can choose whether you want the granny apple to go on the top or underneath. So on the original card, I did it so that it went underneath both layers. But again, I got more ink over here. Alexis was starting to fix it, but I'm not ready for that yet. Okay. So now, to finish coloring this, I'm going to bring in my chalk pastels, and I went with Gorgeous Grape to match this awesome ribbon. And this would be pre-tied for you in your package if you end up with the kit. And if not, it's fine. You can just tie one on. So I'm going to start at the very middle, and I'm just taking a blender pen and picking up the chalk, and I'm coloring in the middle like this. And I'm going to make some dark areas to start with. It's so pretty. It's fun. This is a really fun technique, and with the new pastels, they're a little bit harder than the old ones, so I don't know what it is, but it does a really good job with the blender pen. Okay, so now that I've got the dark parts of the inside of my flower, now I'm gonna pull that out, and I'm even gonna take some chalk off my blender pen. But the chalk's already there, so now I'm just going to pull it out. So you see? So that's pretty easy, right? Okay, so next I'm going to match the granny apple and pull in granny apple. So I just scribble off on the paper, and my blender pen is ready to go. So it does the same thing with a marker. If you rub with a blender pen in one spot, you just have to be careful that you don't go over and over it. So what that does, and I don't know if I'll be able to zoom enough so you can see it, but if you rub too much, you'll pill the paper, see? So if you start to pill the paper at all, that's when you've done enough and you should stop. So that's the back side. I'm just gonna go back to the front. So the idea is to pick it up and use it to get the color on there, but not to rub it, just to kind of get the paper on there and then keep moving. So now I'm gonna trace on one side of this branch all the way down. And I can do it all throughout. So I'm going top. Any questions so far? This is pretty fun, isn't it? So this is super simple, and when you make yours at home, you can just finish off the flower and attach. And when you're all done and you're happy with it, you can glue dot your bow on and try not to put your hand in the black ink pad the way I did. And then you'll be more successful than I am. That simple. Thank you, Susan. All right. I'm being silly. Do you have any questions so far as we're going? Okay, so now I got the Poppy Parade one. So this one's a bit different. For this one, I need 2 blocks that are this size. This one is an E block. And you'll notice that you got a pre-tied bow in your kit, and I hit the lottery because I have 2 pre-tied bows in this one. I wonder if it's missing from another one. It always makes me nervous. I'm gonna lay my red rubber ink down here, and I've already cut this shape out with the shaded summer dyes that are free with the celebration. And again, this is bigger than my ink pad, so I'm gonna go upside down when I ink this up. And I don't know if it's because I traveled, but they seem really dry. It's a thing. Okay, so I'm going to take this and, like a boss, I'm going to line up the stem and the top of the flower. When I think it's in the right spot, I'm going to drop it on. And then I'm going to use this block to smooth it, like I stamped it. So this is my table, but it's upside down. Okay, and then we can see how I did. So that's it, and it's ready to color. Ta-da! I even do tricks, but it's not as hard as it looks. Like when you go to do it, you think that it might be a difficult technique, but it's not really bad. And it works really well with the red rubber. If it was photopolymer, obviously, I'd probably just stamp it. So this is what we're going for with this one, and it's the same coloring technique. We're going to go into the Poppy Parade, and we're going to add dark bits of color at the base, like this. I think I made this one at my team meeting. The ones that I made originally are in plastic. So I did these last month with my team. We do a team meeting every month, and this month I actually have to postpone it because of my technology issues. I don't have any of the stuff written, the PDFs or anything for that. But for this workshop, I was ready to go. In fact, the packets are already packaged up. So if you do place an order on that host code, I can get them right in the mail to you. It's something I can do, which is good. And then once we get my laptop squared away, I can start writing directions again and all that fun stuff. Okay, so I'm going to scribble off, remember, like what we did before. And then I'm going to take that red that's already there, the poppy, and just pull out from what's there. Because I already laid it down really thick. And now I can blend. Makes it such a soft, beautiful, like watercolory, but different. It's not the same as watercolor either. It's a fun medium. I've had no problems with the chalk coming off. That's a good question. Debbie Bacon asked, does the chalk set itself or will it rub off on the envelope? And nothing. Like, it might soften up over time, but I didn't set it with anything. It's just, the blender pen is really helping with that, because the blender pen is what it's sticking to, and the solution, it's like I think it's like a sugar base, because I have customers that said that they have made refill solutions for these for when they dry out, but you get 3 of them in a package for $12. And by the time I've worn down like the stuff that's in it, I want a new tip anyway, so for $12 I buy 3 new pens. I just throw them away when I run out of juice. It's a great question. Do you have any issues with the black ink bleeding in when you color? On this particular one, no, because with the chalk pastels, I'm not really going through the black. I'm just kind of setting it in. On the areas here, I'm sort of laying it down beside. So no, I really haven't had any problems with it bleeding. If I did, I could switch to Stays On. Because Stays On black, once it's stamped and it dries, it's permanent unless you're coloring with blends. Then you should be using Memento anyway. But Memento is my favorite black, and I haven't had any problems with it moving or anything. Great questions, Debbie. Thank you. In fact, Debbie, oh, cool. So we have two people asking questions. Thank you. Am I still here? If you can see my looks like I'm still here. My Alexis is watching the comments, and it looked like the video froze, but it looks like we're good. Phew. All right, so once we get here, what do we need? Dimensionals. What is not in my box? Dimensionals. We'll get some of those. We restocked. It was a great trip, and we restocked this morning, and she's like, yeah, you're ready for your live. And then about 5 minutes ago, we're like, where's the stamp set? You know how that goes. And it always happens when you're live that, if anything's going to go wrong. But, so I just stuck this down. At home, I would recommend not doing that and doing your stamping before. So I'm going to flip this over here like that and use it as a place setter. And, how true is this sentiment? let's just go. There are so many of you, even on this live, that I could send this card to, because it is how I feel. Look at this. Some friendships are just meant to be. Okay, so now that I've got my, I use that as a placeholder. If I got black ink on it, it wouldn't matter, because that's the part that I'm sticking down to the paper. So I just use it when I'm putting something together. And then I'll flip it. And of course, black on black doesn't work, so I'll put it on the white this time. And I'll add, I'm gonna add the adhesive going this way. That's my Seal Plus. Can you see, it's got the breaks in the action. This Seal Plus, there is kind of a technique to it, because I know that some people have had trouble with these. Lightening up your hand makes a huge difference, because it'll just lift up from the papers. And when I release, I lift up kind of straight up, so that, let's see, I will watch the replay, I hope. Yours is frozen. We can type a response for that. If you freeze up, you can go to the top where the address bar is and hit the enter button, and it will bring you back in. I had that happen on a couple of browsers, and I switched to Safari, and now it doesn't seem to do that on my laptop that normally works. Darn computers. So just go up to the top and hit the enter button if you froze, and you should be able to go with it. So as you know, we're going to put 9,000 dimensionals on that, because that's how I roll. And then we will pull those off. And we don't have to peel them all off, right? We can just do like 3 or 4, just on the outsides. And we'll roll it over onto our card. Oh, that is so pretty. And I have pre-tied these bows. We do need a glue dot. I'll lay this down and lift. There it is. Okay, so that's card number 2. Really pretty and really simple. Just to get used to using those chalk pastels. Okay, so this one is a gatefold. So instead of folding it in half at 4 1/4, I scored it on both sides at 2 1/8 and folded them in. So when I go to stick this top panel on, I'll want to make sure that the adhesive is only on the left-hand side of the panel, so that I don't stick my card shut. So let's take a look. Where is your Wink of Stella, right? Well, it's right here. I got like 2 of them in there. You can definitely add Wink of Stella to any of these projects. Go to it. All right, so we got some rhinestones, and this is some of that paper that we cut out. I want to see if I can give you a good look. I cut out vellum, and then we laid this on top. So you might want a liquid glue for this, and you just kind of like go around the flowers until you get the one that matches up. They're so pretty when they're all cut out, but let's see. There we go. So that's how it goes. You can tell because it's all like layered now. So while that's all pretty and in its place, I'm going to put a little liquid glue back there. And we'll flip it back over until it marries up. The reason I use liquid glue, well, if I don't get it right in the right spot, I have a second to give it a little bit of give. Just don't use too much or it'll be all over your hands and you won't like it. Right? Anybody who's used too much liquid glue just said, amen. Okay, so I'm going to bring this in and stamp a thank you on the front panel of this one. Thank you very much. And we'll just attach that to here. And for this, you could use, the adhesive, you could use a glue dot, you could use a little bit of liquid glue. It's fine as long as it's on there. Okay, and then I'm going to put this to the side because you know what happens if I don't. All right, so now for this one, I want to do a little bit more with the inside of the project. So I'm going to bring in this stamp, making sure that I have it going the right way, because, you know, it's a thing. I'm going to stamp it off here. We re-inked this pad recently, so it's not inked perfectly even. So you see me bang, bang, banging around the ink pad, that's why. I'm going to tap across here as well, so I get nice even coverage. And stamp that in the bottom corner, and I'm going to let that dry for a second. Put that off to the side. And then this one came out of that big brick of Hostess reward paper. Oh my gosh, it is one of my favorite papers to work with recently. It's black and white on one side, and it has an array of colors that happen to match up really well with the chalk pastels. So that's why I picked it. And then I'm gonna slide these panels onto the front. We are going to pick up the next color, and this is Bermuda Bay, which is a little bit darker than Pool Party, which is the color that I used on the front of the card. But we're going to use the same technique. So you go dark in the middle, and then pull. For this one, I didn't do the Granny Apple because I really like this blue, and I think it's fine without the colored leaves. If you wanted to, you could mac it out and make it any color you want. Once you have the whole collection, it's so easy to keep going and use all the colors, but I like them kind of more simple. So, here we go. Will you be having directions later? Yep, that was a good question. I did answer that one, Lex. In and out, but refreshing worked. Yeah, you know what? It's really crazy. Like I said, technology has not been my friend today. But I'm gonna try and download this on Alexis's laptop and YouTube it as well. Well, anyway, so you see that I put the adhesive just on the left-hand side. This is super important. That's the most important part of this card, because otherwise you've just stuck your card together if you put it on that side. So, good stuff. We need one of those, the Take Your Pick doohickey. This is what got me in trouble last month, so I'm not going there this month. If you were on last month's feed, yeah. I got in trouble. That's okay. I won't do that again. So I just pick it up, slide it right off the transfer sheet, and stick it where I want it. So, super easy, super fun. And where's the Wink of Stella? Well, I'll do that. It's not, I don't think it's in the directions, but you know, somebody said Wink of Stella. I just have to. All right, there we go. Beautiful. Okay, so the last card's a little bit different. So we've done picking up the pastel with the blender pen, right? Super simple, great technique, and you could probably Wink of Stella right over the top. Let me just test that out. So that'd be a second way to do the same thing, but yeah, you can Wink of Stella right over the top. And actually, I would think if you're worried about it lifting, that would fix it, because Wink ain't moving. So fun. That's one thing I really like about Wink of Stella. It adds glitter, and you don't have to worry about finding 10 pounds of glitter under the floorboards when you do the floor over. It happened here, just saying. Okay. This last card is pretty darn cool. And it uses a technique. First thing I need to do, though, is I need to clean my big stamp. So we'll bring in the cleaner. So I need to take the black ink off of this stamp. So I sprayed the side that has little drip drops on it. And wash and dry. This also has a conditioner in it, So sometimes your blocks may not come super clean even after you take your stamps off and you put them away. I have a new cleaner that I've been using, or you can just take them and throw the whole block in the dishwasher when you're washing your dishes, and they come super clean. Okay, so first thing I'm going to do is I got my Versamark pad at the ready, right? I've got my stamp all cleaned. I've got my paper that I'm going to stamp onto, right? I'm going to take this and put it to the side for a second. And I'm going to take my Take Your Pick tool. This is so cool. I hope you love this because this is my favorite part of the whole workshop. I'm going to take my chalk and I'm going to shave some of the chalk onto my paper. So this is just the back spatula of my Take Your Pick tool, right? Money, okay? And now I have the sponge dauber that I used before for the same color. That, by the way, is Night of Navy, even though it doesn't look anything like Night of Navy. So I don't want my Versamark to dry, which is why I stopped to do the little powder pizzazz thing first. And I got my Versamark, and this seems like, it seems dry. I'm gonna get another one. That one was all dried out. So I want to make sure that it's sticky. So if we were doing heat embossing, we would use Versamark for the embossing powder to stick to, right? Well, with this technique, and what? I made this card a month ago, so somebody was asking me if it comes off. It didn't. Oh, and I need to, before I do anything above and beyond, I need this sentiment as well, and I think it's a little crooked. I'm going to move it. So what I do is I put the image on the block so that it's straight, and then I line the block up with the paper. But I want to make sure that everything's ready to go before I Versamark, because it doesn't dry fast, but it dries fast enough that I kind of want to move along, you know? So I'm going to stamp this at a little bit of an angle. And then I'm going to stamp my words straight, and I just have to line up the block now that it's straight on the block, right? So we'll just line up the block with the paper, and of course I'm not right on top of it because I got the video going. Now, I'm going to pick this up, and I'm going to go right over the top and smush, smush, smush. This is called Poppin Pastels because the images are popping out. So here we go. Doesn't that like make you happy? Yay! I feel like when Alexis was a baby, we used to do, where's the baby? There she is. It's like, where's the flower? So cute. Awesome, awesome technique. This reminds me of that, this color reminds me of that, those blue dishes. You know what I'm talking about? Like my mom has a bunch of them, the old-fashioned blue dishes. And I'm gonna just smush, smush, smush. And I'm going to add a little background on purpose. I want to just add a little color there. So the image is popped out because the Versamark is there to stick to. Now I do know that there are people that would spray over the top of this, but it was not necessary. So you can do it a little heavier handed like this one, or you can keep it light and you know, use a paintbrush and brush off any excess. But it's a little humid here today, so I think maybe that's why it's a little bit darker, or maybe I'm just excited to see you and that I actually got technology to do this much. Yeah, no. Okay, so I'm going to move that to the side. And I'm actually going to get rid of this because you know that I'm going to sneeze in about 10 seconds. Not like, just because I'm allergic to dust. All right, let's roll in. We've got this designer series paper again. This isn't Night of Navy though. This is Midnight Muse. Oh, Misty Moonlight. Thank God for young minds who remember things. I mean, it's just like Misty Moonlight. Yeah, that's the color. Okay, so I'm gonna stick this at the bottom, and then I'm gonna attach these two pieces Now, if you wanted to have another look, a different look, you could have put the Misty Moonlight at the bottom, or actually, that's Night of Navy. They go really well together, so you can choose what you like, but it does layer up nicely the way we have it cut. And like I said, the PDF for this would have all of the measurements. So if you do place an order against the host code, I'm going to automatically send you that PDF. Thank goodness that was done and uploaded weeks ago. So although my laptop, I don't know how things are going to go with my files and, you know, how everything is, but I have that done, so I can do this much. And if not, I guess I'll start over. It's how things go. What do you think? Is that not a cool technique? So, I'm gonna flip the camera and we can have a little chat and you can ask me anything you'd like about projects, if you have questions about the wish list. I didn't get in and do the complete supply list like I usually do early because I don't have my box, but I can do that afterwards and add them to the description. So hang on one second. Let me flip this over. You get to see my hand. So what do you guys think? This is a quick one, huh? But it's beautiful, and I love the technique. It's so you, like I said, this was a little heavy-handed. That one was much lighter, so it was less blue finish. But you could decide what you want, and this one's like a month old, and know that it stays put. Yeah, and that's 2 different ways or 3 different ways to use your chalk pastel if you want to include Wink of Stella, because we got to put that stuff on everything. I'll give you a couple more seconds and see if you have any questions, and if not, I will bid you good night. And thank you for being here. I know, you know, there's some demonstrator friends. There's some. I had such a great time this week. You know, I've done the internet demonstrator thing for a while, and I do like it. There is nothing like getting together with people in person and showing up. And that's what I did. That's what this week was all about. I drove 900 miles to be with my team in South Carolina. We have people all over: Florida, South Carolina, North Carolina, Georgia, Tennessee, and there's a big group of them down there. So I wanted to kind of hit them smack in the middle. And so Myrtle Beach seemed like a middle ground. And I get to celebrate one of my downline who earned a big promotion. She promoted to Silver Elite. So Mary Tawiski, if you're around tonight, congratulations again. Oh my gosh, it was so fun to celebrate her. And yeah. So, oh, there's a huge starter kit special. I guess I wouldn't be doing my job if I didn't tell you about that. If you decide you wanted to give the team thing a test drive, you can get 20% off your purchases that you put under yourself for at least 3 months. And right now they're doing a free bundle. There are 12 bundles that you can get for free. I'll see if I can find that graphic again. Everything's on the laptop. What can you do? But I think I saved it to my team page before my laptop decided to die. So I'll see if I can find it on my daughter's box and post that. But it's still $99, free shipping. Cheryl lives in New Hampshire, so she doesn't pay sales tax. Yay. But you'd pay sales tax in your state, whatever that is. And then you pick out $125 in product, whatever you want, plus that free bundle for 99 bucks. So it's a really good deal. And you get to kind of hang out with my team for a couple of months and see if you like it. We do have monthly team meetings, although this one is postponed just until I can get my computer act together. And it doesn't mean I'll have everything designed and everything. I just need to wait to get the computer end done. So it's okay. I am so glad that we were able to do this anyway amidst that debacle, and that I didn't just have to cancel everything. So Thank you so much for hanging out. I didn't see any other questions come through, so I will bid you good night, and thank you so much. If you have questions that pop up, feel free to pop on to the feed and just ask them as you're watching this, maybe in the hashtag replay. And we'll see you guys next time, and thank you so much for being part of my Stampin' World. Good night.